Another video, short video on 4 p.m. rants. It's about 4 o'clock right now. The sun is basically setting in the west. Basically, you get good lighting during the day in the house, so I try to go ahead and do the videos during this time during the day. What I want to go ahead and talk about today real quick is the overall how far did I get with the videos I had. Last week I had a challenge where I was going to basically try to get taken care of 5 projects, and one of the projects was to kind of come up with different videos and content to talk about each day. One of the contents was trying to talk about like America and Iran and trying to find all the information about it and then translate it into Japanese and then to talk about it in Japanese and use it for a podcast. The other one was to talk about HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. I made them actually I was making them into one video. I put it into 3, and the reason why is because it's very hard to talk about all 3 in a 5-minute video. But I thought that these would be great. And the 5th one was supposed to be about health or wellness. I didn't really get a chance to actually do that. I actually kind of like failed on that one. Personally, I got so wrapped up in trying to figure out what I was going to talk about with the American Iran and the other 3 that it kind of took up all of that my time. So I noticed that maybe 5 I didn't get a chance to get done, but I did do 4. And I'm about to go ahead this week. I'll be recording and editing each video as I come along with them each week. And what I was trying to get to understand is that it doesn't necessarily matter what you actually talk about. What you're doing is that you're interacting. I'm engaging with you in this little box here for about 5 minutes. For 5 minutes of your day, you're able to sit back and talk with me or communicate with me either in the links below, or you could like my you could like my videos on Facebook and you can get content that way. But these ways gives people an opportunity to learn a little bit more about you and hopefully get a chance to learn a little bit about how the content reflects other people, or how basically feels with other people. So let's go ahead and talk about the next things I'm going to be doing for this coming week. This coming week, there's a big, Magic tournament. Every Magic the Gathering is a collectible trading card game that basically allows players to sit down and basically play against each other, casting spells by drawing cards and playing creatures and bringing each other down from 20 initial life points to 0. And I like the game because it's constantly changing and evolving, and it basically it's a gigantic puzzle and you're trying to figure out what is the best moves and how to basically think. And it's very familiar with programming, like when you get like you have to do like a whiteboarding scenario where you have to kind of like break down like how you would solve a problem and then you write the code for it. It's very much similar in that way, and over the years I've been trying to find ways to relate those 2 together, and it's great. One thing about the tournament is that unlike playing online, because the Magic game online is actually available on right now. You can download it from the Magic Arena website and you can play. Is that it's kind of randomized in a way to give people, like, basically they try to bring 2 people who have the best chances of winning each other. They make sure that matches are actually matches. When they say match, they want to make sure that these 2 people both have like relatively the same amount of chances of winning. They don't want somebody to be too strong or somebody to be too weak, So I think it does pretty well doing that. I think that sometimes there are some glitches and stuff, but as all programs go, they have to constantly work at getting feedback from the users and updating them and making patches and stuff like that to overall make the game as best as possible. So that also brings us to the next conversation I basically wanted to talk about was what I was talking about yesterday, which was like connecting with your Facebook community. Your Facebook community is literally like an extension of who you are, meaning that they should be doing the same things you're doing. You should be, if you're not necessarily, if you're going to school, most of your friends should be in school. Or if you're looking to work on a project that's relatively similar to other people, you should be finding people who are also like entrepreneurs. For me, I'm really interested in becoming like an online business, like my whole self. So basically, learning how to run a business, for one, is tons. And so the taxes wise, how to sell things online, to marketing and promoting. You know, these videos here are literally like promoting myself. So that way, like when my videos come up and you see me, you know that this is a video about me. You can't really do that if you're not showing your face, or you're not really talking about yourself in a way that people can understand. You know, like there are people online right now that talk. Let me try if I can bring up some people real quick. Like if you read Jamie Foxx, you know Jamie Foxx is an actor. You know, he's a singer. You also know that he's done a lot of different movies. So when he comes out and he has a YouTube video or a Facebook video, you know what you might be expecting from him. So when you that would be considered like the Jamie Foxx brand, you know. Or Gary Vaynerchuk, who is basically an entrepreneur, an author, also a founder of VaynerX Media, where he tries to talk about businesses and marketing and how to do things in the public. And he talks about hustling, and he basically came from his grassroots came from his father's wine business. So these things are like what these are some of the things that you can kind of like get attention to when you hear his name, or you hear Jamie Foxx's name, or you hear say somebody else's name. You hear Bill Gates. You know that it's something about, you know, Microsoft. You know about computers. You know about entrepreneurship. You know about philanthropy. You know, you also know about, you know, intellectual, you know, reading, because he does a lot of things about intellectual reading. So for me, I'm trying to find out what actually resonates with my audience, and then the more people that actually like the things I like, we can talk more about that, and then we both learn more about those things, and then we ultimately become more we'll also become more knowledgeable on the topic. So that's all I'm really going to talk about today. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that if I had an opportunity to learn something new, learning things new in the public is really important. No one really does anything by themselves. And what I mean by doing things by themselves is that even if you are writing your entire paper by yourself, you are writing your paper inside your school that's going to be evaluated. Your teacher is going to evaluate that paper. That paper might get published, and you'll be evaluated by your own peers. You might be able to, if it's very popular enough, it might get views on other public publications and stuff like that. So it takes a village to kind of, you know, raise a child. It takes a village to like work together, you know. And I want to, that is why that's how I'm going to end this video. So like, try to focus on how to work as a whole. Like, what can you do where you don't have to feel uncomfortable sharing too much information? You know, you can always talk about the things that you're interested in, or the things you're really knowledgeable about, and then break those things down. Okay.